Hello, everybody. I'm Viggy Parhampton, and welcome to Tag Team Tales of Terror, where another horror author and I work together to create something short and diabolical. Today, I've tagged Erika T. Wurth. Erika is the author of White Horse and The Haunting of Room 904, and she's an urban native of Apache, Chickasaw, Cherokee descent. She's a New York Times editor's pick, a Good Morning America buzz pick, and an Indie Next Target Book of the Month and Book of the Month pick. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so have you seen one of these before?
No.
That is okay. That's okay. It's almost better if you go in blind, okay? So let's get into the rules. So this is a progressive story where we will alternate telling bits of the story until we reach some sort of satisfying conclusion. We'll each get about 30 seconds before we switch, so I will have a timer in the corner here. Just keep your eye on that. I will draw a topic from this handy-dandy hat, and then as my guest, you will get to start us off. You might want a pen and paper to jot things down, or not, totally up to you. And then we're aiming for about 10 minutes, but if the story wants to be longer, if it wants to be shorter, totally fine. And then after putting you through that, I have a little surprise for you.
Yay.
Any questions?
Is the surprise ice cream?
It's not ice cream, but you're on the right track.
Yay! Okay.
Okay, so are you ready to go?
Ostensibly.
Okay. I will pull from the hat. See what we get. Okay, I think you'll like this one. You found a bloody knife under your pillow.
Okay, so then I just go.
Yeah, you tell me when you're ready to go and I will start the timer, and then I will follow your lead.
All right. You found a bloody knife under your pillow. Okay, no, there's the timer. Okay. You found a bloody knife under your pillow. You had always suspected it was him.
Oh. You woke up and all you felt was the warm wetness of the blood, and at first you weren't even sure where you were. You knew the last thing you'd seen in your mind was your boyfriend kneeling over you saying, "Are you okay?" But you don't remember anything that came after that, and now all you want to do is take a shower and dispose of this knife.
I had it. You go to the shower. You rinse off. For weeks, you'd been listening to what he had to say, and it just seemed incredibly off. Ultimately, he was late all the time. You hadn't had sex in 6 months, and he criticized everything you said. But when it came down to it, perhaps you could be the winner after all in this scenario. So that was really dry. That last one.
You're good. And he would tell you he loved you, even though you knew it wasn't true. And you kept thinking, is there someone else? And you always thought that if you ever saw a bloody knife, it would be coming for you. But now he's nowhere to be seen. And all you can see is the condensation on the shower door. And you keep thinking, who's going to appear on the other side? The knife is still gripped in your hand. And you're thinking, what am I going to do with this? What have I already done with it?
Which is disturbing because you'd had a plan. You were going to get him before he got you. But when you woke up, the plan, you didn't remember anything. Had he tried to kill you and you turned it on him? Or had you killed him and disposed of the body? Or did you say there was a body? Did you say he was there in the first place? No, right?
No.
Okay. So, or had you disposed of the body and not remembered it? Were you possessed?
You got out of the shower, finally pushed that door aside. Still nobody was there. You got dressed and then decided to creep out into the kitchen. Hopefully you would find him snoring on the couch because, nothing was worse than murder. Or was it? You go out into the living room. Nobody's there, but there are huge blood stains all over the carpet. Still no body. And now you think, I have to go find him. I have to find out what happened here.
You turn the corner and there's a strange man there. He's covered in blood. And he says, "Did we do it?"
And you looked at him and he said, "Who are you? What is going on? Where's Steve?" And he said, "Seriously? What is wrong with you? What are you talking about? You have the knife right there. How can you not remember what we did?" You say, "What we did? I didn't do anything." And he looks at you and he says, "You're not pinning this on me." And then he starts walking closer and closer towards you.
Behind his back, he's got a knife that he pulls forward. I love that this guy's name is Steve too. Like Murdering Steve would be the funniest title ever for like a short story. It's Murdering Steve.
Mhm.
Um, he pulls the knife on you. What's happening? Slowly, some of the details start to come back.
You remember seeing Steve's face staring up at you and saying, "How could you do this? We said we loved each other." You can remember the strange man being there, but you can't remember anything about him. All you can remember is him saying, "Do it, do it, do it." And you can't picture anything after that. But as the strange man comes closer and closer, you start to recognize his features. He starts to come into view, and you wonder, where have I seen this man before? Where have I seen him?
You realize that you had been that your boyfriend had been drugging you, but once you realized it, you had created a plan. It wouldn't be enough to turn him in. You would have to kill him, even though you felt badly about it. And so you enlisted your coworker Bob. Bob had always had a crush on you, and you promised him you'd be together forever if you coordinated this murder together. But now Bob's angry.
And as Bob comes towards you, you wonder, are you any better than Steve, promising someone you loved them just to draw them into a murder? Have you really fallen so low? Bob gets closer and closer. He pulls something out from behind his back. You are fully prepared for it to be a knife, a gun, something horrible, but it's a bouquet. And he says, "You told me that you would be like this when you woke up. Don't freak out. Everything's going to be okay. Just come with me and we'll figure this out."
You decide to go with Bob because even though Bob is kind of lame, he's less lame than Steve.
Mhm. And he hands you the bouquet and you say, "Okay, what did we do with the body? Is Steve really gone?" He said, "Don't worry, I took care of it. Everything's fine. Now we can be together." You're still very confused. You still can't remember what really went on last night, but you let Bob lead you out of the house and you get into his car. And then he says, "Okay, are you ready to go meet my parents?"
When you meet his parents, one of them's a cop, and you can't stop sweating because you're sure he knows what happened.
And you're terrified and you finally make it through to dessert. And Bob's dad looks at you and says, "Okay, so you guys said you need help disposing of a body." And that's when you absolutely couldn't contain your scream. It came out, and everybody looked at you and said, "What is wrong with you? This was the plan all along." And you can't help wondering if you're in the middle of a nightmare, if you're even awake right now, as Bob and Bob's dad lead you out to the car where Steve's body is still in the trunk. He's been stabbed repeatedly, and they say, "Don't worry, we're going to cover up your mistake, and then you can be with Bob forever."
Almost seems like that's the end.
I
I
like
know.
it. I like it.
Yeah.
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 That's, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause it should end. That's what I love about horror is it can end in a bad way, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah."
Okay,
Okay.
that took a very interesting turn. That was fun.
Yeah, I sweated a little, but it was good.
I like that one, and the second person was fun. That was a fun twist.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely, this is the kind of thing that like I've learned, like just say the words because if you
Mhm.
don't just say the words, you're gonna overthink it and you're gonna mess it up. You know.
True, and I mean, normally I ask, "What should we call this?" But I think Murdering Steve.
Oh God, yes,
Murdering
murdering
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
The names in this are just great. Steve, Bob. Yeah.
There's something really funny about like very 50s American names, like Susie, Bob, Steve, Phil, you know. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but they always amuse me. I just, yeah. One of the things I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl right now,
I
and
love
it's one
that
of these
book.
things, right? Is it great? I'm sure it's categorized as fantasy, but it's like so horror too,
Mhm.
right? And I think my guess is the critique of it would be like, oh, it's just a video game. But I love the way he's playing with that structure, right?
Mhm.
He's taking a video game structure and playing with it on paper, and I just love it. But I just love satirical horror. and
Mhm.
satirical, fantasy. Like I love that kind of stuff. I was talking to my friend Rebecca Roanhorse, and she's like, I hated it, and I think it's just not her bag. But
Mhm.
I've always been like, oh, I wish I could write something like that, but I always have to get too serious.
Yeah, I mean, I the things he can keep in his head writing that book, he must have spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets. That's insane.
Yes, I always admire writers like that, like when their world is so intricate.
Mhm.
Like, obviously she's not a good person, and there's so many people that wish she would just be quiet, and just let people have the books, right? But J.K. Rowling,
Mhm.
and I remember Googling her structure one time. I have to say, it is pretty masterful. Like she has spreadsheet upon spreadsheet upon spreadsheet, and she's like, "Here's what happens in book 3. I want that to echo into what happens in book 10 or whatever it was." And I just thought, my God, to plan that intricately, that far ahead,
Mhm.
So sorry, and
That is
I live in suburbia, so if somebody blowing this grass around, I don't even know what they're always doing. They're very into grass. Um, and so that's why.
I can't hear anything on
Yep,
this
there's
end, so we're good.
good.
Well, I did promise you a
Yeah. Anyway,
surprise. So, here it
yes.
is. I don't know about you, but after all of that, I am very hungry. So, I created a delicious recipe for you based on The Haunting of Room 904.
Ooh, I love that.
And so there were many different directions I could go with this, but I decided on something kind of hearty. It's a spin on a Denver omelet that might just leave you gasping for air. It is a baked omelet with the traditional ingredients like ham and onion and bell pepper, but we are spicing it up with some cayenne and some jalapeno. And when we're ready to serve, we're going to top it with some ghost pepper sauce to make all of the flavors really linger. I mean, you might even need Dr. Olivia Vicente to perform a ceremony on your taste buds after all of this.
That makes sense. That's a lot of spice, even for Olivia Vicente.
And I love spice, so I was like, "Yes, let's go."
Yes, yes. Love a ghost pepper. I always think I'm like, man, I can handle the spice. I grew up with spice. But I realized like I always put like a lot of yogurt or sour cream with my
Mhm.
spice. So I'm like, am I really that spice worthy? Or am I just fooling? So yeah.
I think you're worthy, I think you're worthy. You have to do that, right? I mean, I love spicy too, but I don't want to be in pain.
No, no, no,
Mm,
no. Leave that for the characters.
right. And I will be including this recipe in the show notes for anybody who wants to fuel up while reading. And will you just tell everybody where everybody can find you and keep up with you and your work?
Absolutely. Like I said, Instagram for sure. I'm probably on there the most. Threads, because it's tied to Instagram and I'm lazy. And then TikTok, for my sad old lady, versions of a trending TikTok.
I like your TikToks for the record.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. This is great.